Well, thank you very much, CZ. It's always hard to follow after your act. So we need imagination and we need technology. And I'm here to wrap up the morning session. I think all of here are pretty sure that we are headed to an uncharted course. The course that require imagination and a little bit of curiosity and some risk-taking. So my name is Jason Shi. I'm a member of Parliament and a legislator from Taiwan. I'm also known as the Crypto Congressman. My background is I am a legislator and I used to be a technology entrepreneur. Since I become a proponent for blockchain and crypto, I've built several alliances and communication platforms so that the government, industry, the academic can work together to develop a cohesive and coherent policy and legislations. So among a few important legislations that are introduced and passed, they are all technology related. And why do I work on technology legislation so much? It is because that we live at a cusp of transformation, which is a digital transformation. We need someone who can speak the language on both public policy and technology disruption. So among several important legislation I passed includes Autonomous Vehicles Management Act, FinTech Regulatory Sandbox Act, Digital Economy Principle Law, Statute for Industrial Innovation for Angel Investment, Cybersecurity Act, Anti-Money Laundering Control Act, Same-Sex Marriage Law. Taiwan is now effectively the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage. So I'm very proud to say that. Thank you. And also Artificial Intelligence Development Law. So all of this speak on a very national and legislative level. But how do we implement it? How do we make sure that it's a consolidated effort? So we need to build an understanding. We need to build a communication platform. So on May 22nd, 2018, I formed Parliamentary Coalition for Blockchain and Taiwan Blockchain Self-Regulatory Organization as a way for industry to discuss with the government. And in November 2nd, 2018, I proposed legislation to regulate virtual assets, which become the legal foundation for the government to regulate the industry. And Taiwan is also ahead of FATF to regulate the virtual assets. And just last week, Taiwan's Financial Authority, Financial Supervisory Commission, released the first ever security token offering. So Taiwan becomes the first country in Asia also to regulate security token. And I'm also a bridge builder. I worked on collaborations and MOUs with several other countries because I feel cross-border jurisdictional collaboration is very, very important. At this day and age, we are all risk takers. And I come from a technology entrepreneur background. I know how important it is that we get the legislator and the policymaker on your side, on the industry side. So I formed the Global Blockchain Policy Council, which is a network for legislators from around the world. It's a legislators network for countries of Korea, America, UK, Australia, Estonia, Japan, Taiwan, and Singapore. It is a way for legislators and lawmakers around the world to work together to discuss the challenges and the collaborations of the jurisdictional discipline. Now, security token offerings is really come at a very optimal moment. It comes really after people are fed up with ICO scams. And I often say that the year 2019 is the year of regulations. So countries worldwide are taking necessary steps to address the issues. For example, countries like Canada is using a sandbox to regulate STO. And in Asia, we have Hong Kong, we have Singapore, we have Thailand, and we have several other countries that are embracing this trend. And different countries have different ways of interpreting this new technology. But one thing is for sure, cryptocurrency is here to stay. Cryptocurrency is here to impact the traditional financial system. So that is why all the regulators around the globe are waking up to understand this technology, and are waking up to make sure that the financial order is in place when this technology is sweeping over the system. Now, this is Taiwan's security token regulatory framework. It is probably the first country to use or to implement exemption from the security laws. If you issue a security token in Taiwan below the range of $1 million, you are exempt from security laws. If you issue above 1 million, below $6 million US, you are asked to get into the sandbox. Now, the initial guidelines only allow institutional investors to participate. And unfortunately, this is only the first step. I often call this a very, very conservative step. But we are working to communicate with FSC, to communicate with financial authority, to make sure that they modify this law. We have a 90 days of a comment period. So all of you can help us to make this better. We want this to be a global-facing platform. I feel our vision in Taiwan is for Taiwan to become a destination for digital assets. And we need to open up to the world for trading. So obviously, this is not a perfect picture yet. So we need all of your support to make sure that when this law really hits the ground and the cars running on the ground can smooth and then can operate without any issues. Opportunities for Taiwan. I think I share about the regulations. I share about someone like me who come from a technology background, who now is a lawmaker that are making progressive laws. And also, we want Taiwan to stay relevant to this region. I often go to Singapore. Professor David Lee and Hawk Lai are my close friends. I always compare Taiwan with Singapore. If Singapore can, why Taiwan cannot? I think we need to make sure that we are ahead of the rest of Asia, and also we are relevant to this region. And lastly, I want to talk about industrial applications. I think today's blockchain is lacking the real use case. It's lacking massive adoption so that the industry and the general public can really feel its impact and its improvement for our daily life. So just a few things why Taiwan has this advantage to be blockchain tech island. You may already know that Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, TSMC, is the maker of ASIC chips, which is used for cryptocurrency mining. But there's more. Taiwan's ICT ecosystem, or ICT industry, information communication technology industry, make up of the world's 75% of all IT products. And all of these products are now moving onto a 5G ubiquitous and fast speed, fast download platform. And imagine the phone in your pocket is no longer needed a 20G storage. It needs a super fast 5G environment that would enable decentralized computing. And Taiwan is geared for this type of manufacturing. And Taiwan's hardware industry has the capability to experiment and pioneer this type of invention. So we believe the next wave of a blockchain revolution will start from hardware and the software integration. And Taiwan is at the heart of it. And there's more. With the 5G and autonomous vehicle and AI and cybersecurity all wrapped into one place, we are imagining a platform living space. We're imagining our cities being transformed to a smart city or smart IoT or a blockchain-enabled cities. And that is why a small island like Taiwan can enable risk-taking, can enable innovation. Smart building, smart energy conservation, smart energy saving, smart transportation, smart campus, smart office, smart healthcare. As a lawmaker, I'm making laws to enable all of this to happen so that the industry can come to Taiwan to launch your business and to make investments in Taiwan, to scale your business to global community. These are the things that we are doing. And I'll talk a little bit about the use case for blockchain technology, intellectual property, AI, ICO, STO, government and law, smart city, public utility, and industry. These are the 5 areas that our country is addressing in developing a comprehensive blockchain industry-wide policy. If you look at this, there are a lot of areas that are potentially become the next Uber, the next Airbnb, the next Slack, the next unicorn that were born out of Taiwan, because we are enabling this technology to be experimented and scaling in Taiwan. So I'll give you a few examples. In 2020, we are developing the first ever EID system in Taiwan. This is a digital identity system which we will use blockchain to consolidate our data, our social security data, our healthcare data, and all sorts of different data. And we are merging all of it onto blockchain. We are creating a powerful public chain that can harness the healthcare data. Make no mistake, Taiwan's healthcare is one of the world's greatest. We have run the 25 years of universal healthcare. So imagine this type of data being used to create preventive diagnosis for cancer research, for a lot of new drugs, for a new type of diagnosis and medication. This is what excites me about smaller things in Taiwan and making it 100 times better, 1,000 times better. So these are other countries, for example, United States, Australia, Sweden, United Nations are all embodying this type of policy. Now, we've come a long way, and the world has finally wake up to this new trend of blockchain and cryptocurrency. And I just come back from the G20 summit, which also ran a parallel track for a conference, a summit for virtual assets service provider called V20. And I'd like to honor my friend who also is the chair of the V20 summit, Mr. Ronald Tucker. Would you please stand up and wave to everyone? So Ronald single-handedly created the V20 summit, which basically allow and encourage policymakers and countries' leaders to address the issues of anti-money laundering and terrorist financing that might happen for cryptocurrency trading. And he is officially bringing everything under this umbrella with the FATF publishing the guidelines to regulate VASPs, virtual assets service provider. So we come up with the MOU with 6 countries that are coming together to work on the jurisdictional collaboration. And now this is important because if you look at the development of the industry, it's still rather small compared to the fiat currency, compared to what central banks around the world has control over. The sheer volume of the cryptocurrency compared to the volume trading based on the fiat currency is still very small, very little. So what we need to do is that we need platform to bring together regulators to work together to educate policymakers and politicians. So FATF in June published a guidebook, and this is very important for all of you here. If you run an exchange or if you're thinking about running an exchange, this is important for Binance, BMax, because this is coming hard at you. This FATF is calling for a consolidated, regulated environment for all cryptocurrency operators. So what we need to do is, wherever your business registered, go talk to your regulators and have them look through this guideline and to see if your business is in compliance. And this is very important. And we need to work together to make sure that FATF understand the good of technology rather than penalize for the sake of penalty the industry. I think I often talk about blockchain with a mixture of feelings. I love this industry. I'm a crypto congressman, and I'm a rare animal. I'm a rare species in this environment, in the political landscape. What I would like to see happen, and this is an open call to all of you, is that you put the technology in the hands of the people who needed it. Today's issue with blockchain and crypto is it is being used by too little people in a very restricted purposes. But I want to showcase a few examples that I believe will help this industry, that will help the industry in general, that would shine a light on the good of humanity because of the existence of this technology. Blockchain can help with a refugee crisis. Imagine refugees using blockchain for their own digital identities. You know, 1 out of 7 people in the world live without passports. So can you imagine these refugees, this group of people, more than 1 billion people that can use blockchain to secure their identity and also have the financial dignity to buy food, to buy the life necessities. And there's a lot of things that we need to do. And I've seen international organizations like UN and several other agencies that are using it. So I encourage all of you here to work on big problems, to solve big problems. Rather than buying and selling coins, use the technology to solve the problems that our humanity is facing with. So I think that's the calling here. And that's the calling that how we make this industry impactful. So I think that's a very important thing. And lastly, I want to talk about this. I shared it during my opening speech. We've come a long way, and certainly the winds of change have arrived. Libra, with the announcement of Libra just 2 weeks ago, I think this industry has seen a greater path, or the light in the end of tunnel, if you will. There are obviously issues and questions about something like this, particularly it's issued by a conglomerate or a super platform called Facebook. What are the pros and cons? These are the things that regulators must have in mind, must figure it out. It is a authorized resellers. It is a permissioned blockchain. It is a stable coin tied to a fiat currency. Facebook arguably has the world's most secure KYC system because almost 90% of the Facebook users are already verified. But it also skipped the traditional financial system. The problem, a lot of regulators have also already addressed this. It could become a shadow bank. It's not truly decentralized. Professor Lee has also shared this as well. Only 28 founding members will be able to run a node. and then it is against by major banks around the world. So you see, we are always in this sort of interface between old and new, and the decentralized and versus centralized. But we are about to make a decision here. The decision we're about to make here is that we all come together to make sure a platform like this, a platform like Libra, is being governed and monitored, and its products and services are being used for what it is created for. So we must pay important attention to something like this to make sure that this platform is influential, and yet it is safeguarding the good of humanity, and it is safeguarding the good of technology. And just lastly, go back to what my dearest hope for this industry, that is that we use the technology and put it to the hands of the people who need it for the purpose of the advance of humanity. I hope you all enjoyed this 2 days conference, and I'm sure you will gain a lot, you will learn a lot, and let's make it a world a better place. Thank you very much.